the covering for the tabernacle. And we have all dealt with the issue that nobody knows what this is, and it's so difficult because it could be, they say badger. I'm going to point out that's most likely just preposterous. I've heard dolphin, I've heard manatee, and so many people would say, why are they putting an unclean animal on the tabernacle? And if we research Josephus, I think we find the answer to this, and it's totally different and more amazing than what we have had the belief of. Because let's walk through first on Josephus. In Antiquities of the Jews, 3:102, he indicates that one of the issues that's brought is a blue sheepskin. Now, I've looked all through Exodus 25 and 35 with the materials, and I don't see sheepskin listed, not once. Now, the issue comes in this word that we're not able to deal with, and people can't come up with, and it's dealing with a hyacinth. That's what Josephus indicated. It's hyacinth. Well, hyacinth is a flower, and telling us specifically, it tells us a couple things. One, it should be a color. Blue is the predominant color for hyacinth. The other thing is it's a texture, like a beaded texture. Now, when we look at this word, the other time that we see it is in Ezekiel, and we see that in Ezekiel 16:10, where the husband gives the wife Israel high-end shoes after finding her abandoned in the wilderness. So people have looked at that and said, okay, what type of shoes did they use? And they've done some research and they came up with, well, manatee was one of the leathers that they would have used back then. So that should be it. That's where the manatee came from. The badger came from, of all people, Martin Luther. Now, I'm not trusting Martin Luther to give me spit as it pertains to a definition from the Bible. So let's just toss out badger quickly. That's the easiest thing. Let's toss it completely. Sheepskin, however, which is listed by Josephus being part of the thing, sheepskin is clean, number one. Blue would be pretty, but let's also look at some of the other materials that are listed. One, we have goat hair. You know, after the linen, we have goat hair. Most people think, oh, goat hair, we'll think of like this brownish, or I don't want to say brown, but just a rough goat hair. What's cashmere? Cashmere is goat hair. Cashmere is royalty type stuff. Now, we're dealing with the creator of the universe. I think cashmere. So when I hear something, oh, this is the covering for that tent, I'm thinking cashmere. I'm thinking luxury. And then right over that we have ram skins dyed red. And that's a real easy thing to get. It's about 562 ram skins to do that. Yeah, I've done the math. And so that's not a problem. And then on top of that, blue sheepskin. Okay? But not just blue sheepskin. Remember the other material that has been given by so many people are their jewelry, their rings, their necklaces, earrings, nose rings, anything that's got gold on it for the gold. Well, are there jewels in there? And I would think a lot of times, yes. Is somebody going to go ahead and take what has been given to God and say, oh, I'll take that because he's not using it? It ain't happening. I mean, it's not going to happen. What has been given is given. So as they refine that gold, because a lot of the gold is going to be given maybe 10 karat, 14 karat, 18 karat, we need to get it up to a 24 karat. So we refine it in gold, we refine it in fire. And the way you do that, you take an inverted pyramid and you melt the gold and the other stuff, which is mostly silver, and you pour it in that crucible of an inverted pyramid. The gold is heavier and it'll sink to the bottom. And so as it starts actually solidifying, you can go and cut off the gold on the bottom. And then you do that a couple more times because you refine it. You know, we have from Psalms, I think it's 119, you know, buy from me silver refined in fire 7 times. Now, our Bible translations a lot of times try to say that as gold refined in fire, but it's not. So, one of the things that we have, though, again, we have some jewelry, some jewels. And I'll show you a picture here of some beaded shoes that they used to make. These things are from royalty. Now, a beaded shoe would be a high-end shoe, which we get from Ezekiel 16:10. So a beaded shoe. Now, so imagine for a moment that you're sitting in your tent, okay, and you walk out. Let's assume that you are about 5 foot something, 5'10", 6 foot, whatever it is. Your eyes are right around 5 feet 6 inches. Now the height of the curtain, the outer curtain, is it's not that high. It's only going to be about 7.5 feet tall. Whereas the tabernacle in there is 15 feet tall. So one's taller than the other, and you will see that tabernacle. Don't think that you would be seeing something kind of bland like a brown leather or something. This is for the creator of the universe. Imagine for a moment you're seeing a blue leather and you're seeing jewels popping out of it. Because again, we have that silver that's been pulled out of the gold. They got to do something with that silver. Imagine they're doing designs and embroidery work in that leather to make it just stunning, and putting jewels in it. That is stunning. And not some dull thing, but stunning. Beautiful. And that's what I see for this thing. It fits with Josephus. Josephus indicating we're having blue sheepskin. Sheepskin is clean. It's not a problem. It would be hyacinth, the color of a dark blue. Not a problem. And again, as we come through this, where it has that textured effect. And again, if you're putting, you've got all these stones, diamonds, things like that. Add them in. I'm sure they're not going to be just tossed in the wilderness for somebody to pick up. They were donated to the creator of the universe. That's not where they're going. He's going to use those things. So if he's going to use them and it's not somewhere else, this is the only thing where it's really not defined where it would be. I could see that. And I see, as you're looking out, because remember, you're where you camp, is it going to be a totally flat plain? Most likely not. You may be able to see most way in. You're probably not going to see the altar, but you may be able to see a little bit inside that curtain. You're certainly going to see the top of the tabernacle. And if you see jeweled and silver just gleaming in the sunshine, now that's something that would be amazing, and that's what I see. That fits with what I know about my Creator. If we're dealing with a godlike event, and this is the godlike event, that's what I'm looking for. So again, we've heard Manatee, but that's how that kind of came through, where they're trying to think of thick type of leather for shoes. But high-end leather, I think beaded fits better. And again, those are the materials that I would see for that particular issue.